Good morning or afternoon, whatever time it is of day you're watching this video, you handsome lot. Anyway, I've got a BMW 1 Series. It's a little 3-cylinder petrol thing. I think it's petrol, I don't really know, it could be, might be diesel, who knows, but we'll have a little look in a minute. I don't know how to explain this because the customer couldn't understand it himself. He does a little bit of work with his cars himself and he is very good at what he does. Baz, my little 1 Series, I put brake pads on it and I left it ticking over in my garage and it overheated. And it's never, ever, ever overheated before. It's never overheated before. I changed the brake pads. It's now overheating. Can't get my head around it. And I can't get my head around it either. So I think the first thing we need to do, I've got the battery support on it, get the ignition on, and we'll do a little bit of a diagnostic report and see what's going on. Right, well, I've done a high-speed scan. There's a lot of intermittent. If we go into the DME, Valvetronic supply, relay for ignition, relay for Valvetronic, supply, Valvetronic relay activation, short to ground, relay for ignition, heat management control limit, position closed, heat management, that's engine ventilation, heat and activation, short to ground, DME, internal fault, heat management, voltage, under voltage. I think we might have to just check some fuses possibly. But I think what we're going to do, jump into the DME. We're going to get some live data up. Coolant temperature at radiator outlet. Map thermostat status, see when the thermostat's opening. I think that's pretty much everything that we need to be looking at. I'm going to pop that into some data PIDs, and we'll get on the key and get the car started and leave it ticking over. Now, just to clear things up, it is a petrol. But anyway, it's now ticking over. I've just got the coolant cap off and you can see that the water pump is pumping, and that's pumping a good one. It's literally only been running 2 minutes. It's probably something to do with this here. Like I said, we've only been running a couple of minutes and we now are at 54 degrees. So we're just going to leave it and just see what happens. While this is getting up to temperature, all these vehicles now, they've got that complex cooling systems. Years ago it used to be simple, couple of pipes, thermostat, water pump it round, engine, radiator, job done. Not now. It's got heat exchangers, got this, it's got that, it's do this, do that. It's hard, and I'll show you now. I'm jumping on all data. This is where technical information that does help you. Now, this isn't the engine that I'm looking at, right? But just look how complex that cooling system is. And whenever I've got 5 minutes, or I'm doing a job like this, I always have a little look at technical information and just see how things work, because it can help you out. Oh, hang on, we are getting now up to 92 degrees. So we're just going to keep watching this electric fan signal. Customer did say that the fans are coming in, but we've got coolant temperature at the engine 93, coolant temperature at the radiator outlet 93. So why is it overheating? We are now running at almost 100 degrees. No fans are coming on, and they're cold. The water's not circulating. This hose is hot. Bottom hose, can I feel the bottom hose? Bottom hose is freezing. I'm probably going to say there's something wrong with this here. The map thermostat. or bypass valve or whatever you want to call it, because we are now at 100 degrees. I'm just going to make sure that the fans are coming in, and then we'll have a little look. Anyway, the fans came on, but I think what I'm going to do is use fault guidance on the Diag, which can help us and can assist us. If we go back to there, just so I can show you. Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, let's just go back to the read fault codes. We've got nothing short of ground other than the Voltronic, but that may have been unplugged, may have had spark plugs or something like that. There's nothing short to ground. Oh, yeah, or intermittent. So it's not permanent though. So what we're going to do is go to fault guidance. And this is probably going to download test plans, which it'll do automatically, hopefully, if it hurries up. See, the thing is with all these new Diag tools and stuff like that, everything's internet based, and if you've got five lads in your five lads in your workshop, and they're all scrolling through Instagram reels, you're not going to get a good internet connection, are you? Oh, car's rolling. Right, let's go to heat management, function available, operate, and this is going to give us, wait for it to download. Everything's going to go slow when you want it to go fast, isn't it? Right, voltage, the heat management, activation short to ground, that's the one that we were getting. Heat management, module controller, limit position closed outside of tolerance. So if we go F2, it's going to tell us what it's going to do. Come on. Right, function test, check line, limit position, F1. This is going to do its own test now. 20 seconds. And of course, oh, something's happened then. Hang on, Steve. Hang on a minute. Just need to hear this motor moving, if it does move. Functional check was ending and no fault codes found. That's function 2. Check adjustment 2. Continue. Right, heat management modules activating in several stages. Oh, it's working now. Set point. Can you see it? And you're allowed a percentage. That thing now is flapping or moving. So that now looks to me as if it's working. If you continue. 25, 24. The functional check is complete. Remaining time 86. This is the longest I've ever had. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a pain. Perform control. Everything seems to be working right. I'm going to get this car started up and see if the heaters are working. What a long 4 minutes that was. All the fault codes, I've cleared them down. I'm going to jump on, turn the heaters up, go back to DME. I'm going to get some read data stream. So we want top one, temperature, coolant temperature at radiator outlet, maps Map thermostat, see what's going on. Also cooling fans. We go there. Electric fan activation signal. We're going to let this car tick over now and get up to temperature. You might not be able to hear me because I've got the car ticking over with me bar. Well, I wouldn't say ticking over, but a fast idle with me bar just on the throttle. If we go into some live data, we can now see that the fans are starting to come on. See? Fans are flickering. 111 degrees. Now, it probably took about 5 to 10 minutes to get to this before, and it is now took about 25 minutes. And if we have a little look, the heaters are now working and they're nice and toasted. Can you see there? The fans are coming on and the temperature is coming down. So I am now happy that everything is working as it should be. Right, what do I do? What do I do? I need to make a decision. And I think the most fairest decision that I can make is ring a customer up. This is what, well, we haven't really found anything, have we? Because everything is now working. Other than me doing component activations and just making sure that everything is working as it should do and just checking stuff. Have I given a bit of a kick up the backside and said, come on, you need to work? And it's thought, right, I need to work now because has the battery gone flat and it's just confused itself a little bit? There's lots of scenarios which have caused it. It may even be a faulty part and it's just starting to get stuck a little bit. But on the other side of it, I don't want to go replacing a £300 plus VAT part plus the fitting if it doesn't need changing. So yeah, I think it can be hard sometimes to make a decision for the best. I'm going to give this customer the car back and I say, look, drive it. If you have any issues, if you have any further issues, please bring it back and we can go from there. Yeah. Just goes to show you sometimes that the motor trade can be hard, it can be difficult. You shouldn't just change parts, check technical information, have a look, see how things work, and then you can go from there. The worst thing you could do is plug one of these computers in and start firing parts in. Could have been an expensive job, but up to now we're just going to be paying for diagnostic check and pretty much labour the time that I've been on it. But other than that, not that, because I wanted to find something, and it's frustrating me because I couldn't find anything. But anyway, that is enough of me waffling on. If you've made it this far in the video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you on another video. Take it easy. Let's get it sent.